Everyone has seen an episode of Shark Tank at least once in their life, and if you haven't, well, it's not really that big of a deal, I guess. But for those of us who have seen it, you know that the basic premise is that normal business people pitch their usually lame idea to foreign investors and try to get funding for their business. Now that got me thinking, what if instead we had insane people pitching insane ideas? That's where this video comes in. Here are some of my schizophrenic Shark Tank pitches. Starting off with the Pacemaker EMP. Okay, just hear me out, okay? You hear the word EMP and you start to think, oh wow, that's probably extremely illegal. Well, it is, but we sell these in back alleys, so, laws are just suggestions and whatnot. The Pacemaker EMP works by emitting EMP signals that are specifically designed to target pacemaker devices and similar implants. Now obviously this would disrupt their function and may cause serious harm, which you might again ask, isn't this illegal? My sweet summer child. We sell these under the therapeutics label, and with some studies that I helped fund, we found that there is a non-zero chance that temporary pacemaker disruption is good for cardiovascular health. Now could you use this therapeutics device to technically remotely do away with like 90% of geriatric politicians with a single button press from a safe distance that is traceless and relatively cheap? Maybe, but maybe you won't, and that's a gamble that we here at PEMP would like to take. It costs us around $28 to create the basic model, and we sell them for around $30, which you might think are some pretty thin margins, but we believe that the PEMP is a device that should be in every home and that everyone has the right to own one. For therapeutic purposes. We currently have an active lobbying campaign going on at the minute to sneak through legislation that would allow us to sell these legally over the counter. And let's just say, some of our arguments are especially convincing. We're looking for an investment of $5 million for 5% of the company, and we will use these funds to accelerate production and lobbying efforts. The second schizophrenic shark pitch is based on an idea. The ivory trade is a horrible and evil business that kills tens of thousands of elephants every year in order to harvest their tusks. To combat this, researchers have created fake ivory and flooded the market in order to confuse buyers and dump the price of ivory to make it financially infeasible to harvest. Every year, thousands of people with their friends start podcasts and buy podcast equipment. Usually these podcasts are awful and extremely unfunny, and I can't help but be bombarded by the most brain-dead takes every time I scroll social media. So, what's the solution? Similar to the ivory trade, we flood the podcasting equipment market with microphones that explode. Okay, hear me out. The microphones will only explode once they hear certain phrases such as body count, alpha male, or buy my online course. Unlike the ivory trade, the market should fix itself. Our analysts have predicted that with this method, we're likely to see similar results to a bacterial growth curve. The lag phase is the production period, exponential phase is when we flood the market with the mics, the stationary phase will be likely due to rumors circulating that the mics are exploding, but don't worry, we have resources to help combat that, and finally the final phase, which is pretty self-explanatory. We're looking for a $1 million investment for 10% of the company, as well as a $50 reward fee for any explosions that do occur. The third schizophrenic pitch that I have is actually an app. Tired of grandma losing her life savings every few months to call center scammers? Do you wish there was a way for you to get revenge? Well, luckily for you with the Reverse Indian Scam Call app, or RISC, we allow users to be able to call and connect with the private numbers of call center employees. There are many ways that you can carry out a reverse scam, and we have guides in the app that can coach you on scripts and techniques that will make you more successful. But the primary reverse scam method is the visa application scam. This is where you'll call pretending to be from the Department of Labor and that you're happy to inform them that their visa application is being progressed. You then tell them that you need a few more details from them and that they'll need to pay an administration fee so that their visa can be approved. Then you can either take real banking payments, or if you'd rather not exchange banking information, you can tell them that you're willing to accept Google Play gift cards, seeing as how that is supposedly a valid form of payment to these scammers. The app collects all the personal info necessary to enable this reverse scam by working with moles within the scam agencies. These moles then plant keyloggers and crypto miners into the data centers as well as the computers of the call centers, which has a two-pronged effect. By one, allowing us to see whatever they're doing, and reducing the lifespan of the hardware that these scammers use by using their GPUs for crypto mining. Risk is currently owned by a non-profit that donates all of the profits made from user subscriptions and cryptocurrency sales to victims of financial scams. Currently we're doing fundraising events, so for more information go to reverseindianscamcall.org. My next pitch could save businesses around $2,500 per employee annually. Everyone has had issues with HR at one point or another. From the constant training tasks that they assign you to the meetings and the complaints and the blah blah blah. My pitch is that instead of having HR, human resources, we can replace them with AIR, artificial intelligence resources. We train the AI on TikToks from project managers and HR departments like these.
Gen Z boss and a mini, Gen Z boss and a mini, 5'3" and an attitude, 5'3" and an attitude.
Every time I watch that video, I am one step closer to ending it all. But yes, now, you can get all the benefits of HR, which are so many that I can't even think of a single one to list, but now it's all automated and streamlined. I currently use AIR at my own company. We only have one employee, who is me, but AIR has already assigned them racial mindfulness training, as well as a meeting for inappropriate comments. Who did I make those to? Who knows, but AIR works functionally the same as any other HR department. The total cost of the AIR package only comes out to around $500 per employee, with controls that allow you to customize the rate at which your employees get harassed by our systems. Now you might be thinking, when we get rid of the old HR departments, what will the majority female HR employees do? Well, because we believe in equality, we partnered with our sister company, Stoic Stick Drilling Co., and offer anyone who has lost a job because of our AIR system a full-time role mining for oil in the Arctic Ocean, with generous pay packages and an accelerated training course that can get you out of the office and onto the rig within 2 weeks. For more information on our AIR system, please visit our website at www.hrisbad.useairinstead.com. My next pitch is a device that can end all the fighting and animosity in the Balkans, which is a pretty bold claim, but it's true. I call it the Balkans unification button, or BUB. We developed it using some arcane technology that I can't really talk about here on YouTube, but just know that it took a lot of blood of the innocents. Most of it actually from this handy little book here. Yes, but anyways, we're here to sell this button for $10 billion to any prospective buyers. Now, you might be wondering how it works, and really we don't know either, but the book promised us that it would unite them. I mean, that or send the world into 1,000 years of darkness and pestilence. I know that we're here to sell the button, but I kinda just wanna press it for some reason. Maybe I'll press it just to test and see if it actually works. There's probably a way to ununify them so we can sell it afterwards. I don't feel like anything actually happened. Let's check in on the Balkans from a satellite view. What is that? I don't think anyone could have foreseen that. Well, I mean, at least they're technically unified now. Hang on, they're redrawing the border lines inside the crater. I guess not even black magic can fix the Balkans. Anyway, my next pitch is actually one that requires a small experiment that involves you, the viewer. Okay, let me dim the lights first. Nice and dark. Now, I'm going to give you 5 seconds to visualize the image of an apple in your mind. Statistically speaking, some of you won't be able to actually visualize anything. Me, I can rotate a 3D apple in my head in 4K, but that's just me. What if there was a way to help those among us who are, I was gonna say mentally challenged, but obviously that doesn't sound right. Let's just say creatively challenged. Well, with my new biological product, we can give you that voice inside your head that you're clearly missing. I call it the telepathic tumor. Now, some of you may be put off from the idea of implanting a tumor into your brain, but don't worry, we did some testing and it's non-fatal. Mostly. Let's talk about the pros and cons of the TT. Pros. You can have it read for you as it's connected to the occipital lobe, as well as being connected to your auditory cortex, allowing it to speak to you as well. Although, if it mentions anything about red phosphorus, pseudoephedrine, or ammonia fertilizer, it's best to ignore it. It's also really good at chess. Forget vibrating butt plugs, the new cheating tech is a tumor that's sentient. Now, for the cons. I can't really think of any, apart from the fact that it's, technically speaking, actually cancer. But if you can get past that, it's pretty good. For the cost, well, it's actually free. Yes, completely free. All you have to do is sign this legally binding contract here, and legally, I have to tell you that you may become a zombie that we control. Sorry, I have a really bad cough. But yes, all you have to do is sign here. Did I tell you that it was legally binding? I did? Oh, okay. I think you should sign. The next pitch is actually a game that can be enjoyed by all the family. You've heard of Russian roulette, the game where a single bullet is put in a revolver and you take turns shooting it. Very dangerous and likely to end in death. This new game that I've dubbed Belarusian roulette is very similar but way safer. Because of the lack of money in Belarus, they can't afford the single bullet to put into the gun, so players just take turns spinning an empty gun, and the loser is the first person who gets bored and quits the game. I mean, yeah, that's about it. We're looking to take this to the professional level, so anyone who's interested in joining or creating a professional Belarusian roulette team, please let us know at your earliest convenience. Our last and final schizophrenic pitch is one that I think could have some actual real-world application. It's a Steam-compatible software that we call the Gauntlet. Ever play an online game and encounter a player that is so infuriating that you wish you could cause them physical pain? Well, with the Gauntlet, you might be able to. It requires both players to have installed the software, and then, in-game, one person initiates the script by typing player name, I throw down the Gauntlet. The player then has to respond by either accepting the Gauntlet or having their Steam account locked and unusable for 24 hours. So, what happens when both players accept the Gauntlet? Well, the locations of both players are doxed and then they can continue to talk shit, or now realizing the other person has their actual address, apologize. With this new software, I believe that online play will become way better, knowing that if you talk too much shit, you might just get punched. We hope to eventually become big enough to get taken over by Valve and have everyone be forced to use the software. So, the next time you play an online game and decide to be a living tumor, and no, not the good kinds like a telepathic one, remember that you might just have to face the consequences in real life. Anyway, I just have to say thanks for 100k. I didn't actually think this would happen so quickly. My goal for the first year of YouTube was to actually hit 10,000 subscribers. So to hit 100,000 in 9 months is kind of insane. I'm deciding to do the identity reveal on my birthday, which is the 5th of September, which gives me enough time to actually receive the silver play button for the video, as well as sort out a few other things. Again, thanks for all the support and thank you for watching. Hope to see you in the next one.